What's that? You look paused?
Can you not hear this?
No.
Oh, okay. Then it's no
For
fun.
people who are just joining, Kimberly was talking to me about all the podcasts that we might do. And there was lots of good stuff in there. I'm like, great. Well, there it is, and it's not even on the recording. But
I know.
thanks.
But at
And then
least
when
we're
we
here
actually do it, it'll be
now.
like Michigan J Frog. Do you remember
But
that
wait,
from? Do you
Joe,
remember
they
like
don't
Michigan
know
J?
who we
Oh,
are.
oh, yeah, yeah. We'll start over.
Who are
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
You seem awfully familiar.
My name is Joe Sack, and it is good to see you again, Kimberly. And it's good
I
to be
can't
here.
even believe
And
it.
you
I
look
can't believe
familiar
it.
too, although there was somebody like you who got an award at past summit and then
Oh.
said, "I'm going away now, and I'm retiring," and then you descended behind the curtain,
I
never
did.
to be
I
seen
did.
again.
I did retire, and my intent was to step away fully, but I had a few requirements and things that I said that I was going to do when I left SQL Skills, and then I had a myriad of personal, I'll just say chaos, that ate up the last 2 years. I mean, it was 2 years ago it passed. It was 2023, which
Wow.
to me, I can't even believe it's been 2 years. But my point, I still love tech and I love talking to folks. And when you and I started chatting, and you were like, you know, I think I'm about to make a
Yeah, you
a
brought
rec-
it up right at the right moment too, because I was like already teetering at the edge, so you didn't know what kind of fire you just started, but it was like, all right, well now I
I
have an
know.
idea of what to do right after.
I know.
So,
I mean, our texts were mostly, goofy texts here and there. And then there was this one where I just went, now's about the time. And you're like, I think it is.
wait, can I
So,
tell the joke you always told me the last, now it would be 12 years, where you're like, okay, which rotation are we on now? Are we up next? Or
yes.
who's up next? Is Microsoft back up next? Or, oh, nope, you're going to MongoDB. Okay, okay. How about this time? No, oh, you're going to Elastic. Oh, back to Microsoft, I see. Yeah.
But,
And then
but
Paul said
that's,
something like, you have a bungee cord attached to you to Microsoft. That was the other quote.
but I mean, that's what kept you interested and excited in technology, right? It's like,
Yeah, definitely,
this is cool. This is cool. Let me dabble in this. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I want to check things back out at Microsoft.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's
So,
the parallelism issue that I can't like spawn off eight of me and do everything, and so then I round robin, which doesn't
yeah.
have quite the same effect. But
I'm
I want to
just
go back to your description of you, if you don't mind, because you were on stage, you had a pretty intense 2 years, as you said,
Yeah.
um, but you're back. But in what capacity? Do you want to frame
So,
that?
yeah, I'm gonna record a course that I said that I was gonna record on 2022, but
There
I'm
it
gonna
is.
record it on 2025, and I need to finish up that promise that I made to folks a couple years ago, and I feel terrible about it taking so long. But a lot of people skip versions, 2019 to
Yeah.
2025. So I might be hitting it at the right time for some people. And without getting into too much detail, a lot of the recommendations I've made in the past for some of those features are still really good. I mean, the feature in IESP that I'm going to be talking about, the stored procedure optimizations and multiple plans, parameter sensitivity plan optimizations, they solve problems for certain environments, but not every environment. So they're helpful, but they're not something that I would always turn on or always rely on. They're not magic, It's not like putting the faster switch on. I mean, it might be for some people for certain scenarios, but it's pretty limited, I guess I'll say. So I don't feel too I mean, I still feel terrible, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's not like something that I want everybody to implement tomorrow, and it's more nuanced than that. So
And
I'll
it's
say
a
that.
complicated subject for me because I was the PM for it initially, and so
I
it's a
know,
baby,
I
and it's
know.
a baby that was supposed to be iterated on a few times, and we did start with equality predicates because the telemetry showed that that was the biggest sore spot.
Oh,
But I
sure.
had grander hopes. And by the way, there's always hope. Like memory grant feedback, there were a few
Yeah,
different
that was
rounds, and I feel
amazing
like,
how many
yeah,
rounds that went through and how good that is now. But I still, I love SQL Server. My whole life has been on SQL Server for, 30 years. And I'll just, I started when I was two. Um, but Paul wishes. Anyway, so I do love the product, but I do find a lot of frustrations here and there that things don't move as fast as I'd hope they'd move. But
yeah,
having said that, I still think there's a lot of cool stuff, and that's why we're getting together in some of these talks. And this first one was just to remind you guys who we are. If they forgot, I hope they didn't all forget about us.
so it's not
And
possible.
yeah, and that we're back and we're going to do some of these talks. Do you
I
want
love
to
it.
add anything else?
No, I love it.
AI
I mean, we've
Joe? I'm going to call you
yeah,
AI
AI
Joe.
Joe. Yeah, which is like a new like iteration over the last couple of years. So, but it's I mean, who isn't interested in it? But it's a love hate too, right? Which we'll talk about a little bit. Um, but yeah, just in terms of background, like I worked at SQL Skills, just for the record, for I think it was exactly 2 years,
Yeah, back
and then
in
we partnered.
2012?
Yeah, I think 2012 was when I left, maybe.
Yeah, okay, so
And so
2010 to
it was two
2012. Yeah.
years of going on the road with y'all, and then doing consulting,
We need a
and then
webcast on those stories.
yes, oh yeah, that was pretty intense,
It was fun.
and a lot of good times, a lot of good times. Learned a lot too. Um, but then after that, I think I went into independent consulting for a little while, but I still partnered heavily with you and Paul. We did a lot of the Pluralsight work right
Yeah,
after that.
yeah, absolutely.
And then back to the mothership again.
Yep,
Well, that would have been my second time going back to
yep.
Microsoft. And that's when I got into product management. So that's when I joined the query processing team. And that was a 5, 6 year stint as a PM on that team. And then crossed over into leadership positions. So it was like the GPM for
Yeah.
SQL. Um, and then after
And that
that,
was
it was,
amazing. Like I loved hearing your stories and talking to you about things you were doing and things you were planning and the excitement you had. I know they can't ever do everything that we want
yeah,
in a release, but exciting that you were able to, like cardinality estimation, and you were able to look at a lot of things and kind of guide the product, which was awesome.
yeah, it was a really excellent time. Although, like, I don't get credit for. I mean, it was a lot of it was how can we sell something so abstract that all the different engineers had thought of, and you'd
Yeah.
have these concepts that you talk to a leader and go, interleaved execution for multi-statement table valued functions, and they just stare at you and blink 3 times. It's like, how do you sell that? And
Yeah.
so to me, it was like, okay, you have all these engineers with all these really good ideas, and a lot of these ideas would be like billions of queries improved in terms of performance on the
Yeah.
service, let alone the box product. So that was the leap. It's like, okay, let's not talk about how cool it is to like get good cardinality estimates. Let's talk about here's the pain that we're solving and why. And so to me, it was like an education of like, how do you get out of the implementation details? How do you sell it to the business? And then more importantly, how do you help customers with it? And then a lot of bittersweet stuff too, because with everything you fix in the optimizer, what you give with one hand, you take away with the other. And so it's like how to get your ass kicked continually. Um, when you fix something, like a bunch of people all of a sudden are silently happy, and
Oh,
then
but there's somebody
the
very
one
loudly
bad thing
very
goes wrong.
unhappy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's PMs right now feeling that pain every single day there. So it's like I could never like let go of that empathy, and
Yeah.
I think it's much harder to be a builder than a critic.
Yeah.
But you need those critics, and you damn well better listen to the critics, even
Oh,
if you
for
don't
sure.
like it. You better listen. So it's been strange being across those worlds. Um,
Yeah. And then I'll jump, but then you went to Mongo, right? And
yeah, that was super fun. Because that was like, all right, I've been SQL since like 1997, and so I was the director of product for the first year for the engine, so learning the whole NoSQL world. And then the second year, I got the Atlas Search product team added to it. So like the team doubled, and it was like learning the search, the Lucene, like that was a different world in and of
yeah,
itself, which actually
totally.
led to the vector part because they were bleeding edge on getting the vector integration. And I remember hearing from a leader the first time about hallucinations and LLM hallucinations. This was at the tail end of, I'm like, what? Wow, that's interesting. And like it was just at the very beginning of it. And then I had
I've
this
heard about
big long roadmap.
microdosing, but I didn't think we were doing that at
Yeah,
work.
yeah, that I'm very familiar. I'm from Madison, Wisconsin. We know all about that.
Yeah,
But like I
exactly.
did not know about hallucinations in the LLM world. So MongoDB got me into that space. Um, and then what did I do after that? You tell me.
You
After
went back
Mongo,
to
I went.
Microsoft,
I
didn't
think
you?
I, I think that was after that. Oh no, yes it was. Yes. So like I'm like I. By the way, the siren song of independent consulting came towards the end of MongoDB. I'm like, I'm free. I'm gonna do my own thing.
That's right. I
This era
remember.
seems to be shifting. There's something cool here. And then I got a call from my old boss at Microsoft. He's like, "We got a job for you." And I'm like,
I,
"Safety, safety, and security, and it'll all be good."
a paycheck
Um,
regularly.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah.
And so I bit the hook, and again, it was good to see everybody. It was good to go back, but I felt like a karmic replay of like
Of why
why I
you had
wanted that
left.
freedom again. So
Yeah.
went back to um, Microsoft, shorter time that around. Um, and there was a lot of like changes in leadership as I mean Microsoft is always changing. It's
Yeah, of
natural.
course.
Um, and then I'll speed this last part up because this is not like a whole bio, but like then I thought, well, let's relive MongoDB through Elastic. Let's become a
Yeah.
director of product at, or let's become a senior director of product at Elastic, like even more pressure. And that was cool because I got to learn Elasticsearch. And by the way, the vector capabilities that they can do and vector search, incredible,
Yeah,
very bleeding
absolutely.
edge. And so that actually got me, that really dug it in that I want to go and I want to do these things and I don't want anybody to get in my way while I learn some of these things.
No, and I
And
can't wait to
so,
talk to
yeah,
you more about Vector because
yeah,
it's so fascinating how you can do things and how you can search and how you can
yeah.
understand nearest neighbor and just find correlations. Anyway, we'll get into that in a later chat. And I didn't even think this chat was going to take so long, but it's so fun to be back and it's so fun to chat
It's
with you,
great to see
Joe.
you.
And I'm looking forward to many more of these. And hey, just one last thing to point out.
Yeah.
You've actually released your first AI course on
Yes.
SQL skills on vector search essentials. So
Let's see. I gotta check my phone on something. I have a little timer where I see. Okay, so I've been independent for 95 days, and I
95
I think
days.
95 days. It's important. Like you have to embrace these things because so many times I'm like, oh,
You have a
I want to be
timer that's
free.
keeping track of how many
Yes,
days?
I have an actual because it's like, look, there's so many reasons to not be happy about things in life. I'll
Yeah.
keep it abstract, right?
Yeah.
So when you have something that you're like thankful for, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put a timer on there to go every day that ticks up of like when I got to be my own boss or when I got to do something like this and collaborate in this
Interesting.
way. So anyway,
Like a
95 days in,
daily
but we got a
reminder.
course out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, daily reminder.
No, that's
Paul
a
and
good
I
idea.
and you, we've been a lot of communications. It's all been asynchronous for the most part,
Yeah.
which is cool.
It's
And
great.
now
I
it's
mean,
nice
we
having this thing where we can connect and chat.
for sure, for sure. Okay, well, let's leave it at that then. And Joe, I love being back with you, and I love talking tech. So I guess I will probably be doing this every now and then. So thanks very much,
It
everyone.
sounds like fun. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.